Hey, how we doing? Welcome to Geeks and Gamers Play. And for the past few days, there's been this dispute back and forth between Nintendo and Valve, actually. Now, I'm kind of Team Valve on this one. So Nintendo has a hard-on for suing people. They kind of get off on the thing. And recently, they've gone after Dolphin, which is an emulator for GameCube and Wii games. And there was supposed to be a Steam launch for the Dolphin emulator, but Nintendo has stepped in and they've had an issue with this and they want the whole thing taken down. In fact, it has been delisted from Steam because of the DMCA that Nintendo has put in place. Now, from my understanding of this is you actually need to own the games in order to emulate them over on Dolphin. Now, of course, there are ways around this where you don't have to own the game and you can acquire them through pirating. And, well, that's illegal, but you can't stop people from doing it. So that's why Nintendo has a problem with this, even though it's got nothing to do with Dolphin. It's what people do with their own, well, their own actions, really. So since Nintendo has put forth this DMCA, Nintendo has now explained why they've done this, and Valve, or Dolphin, now has 2 weeks to respond to this and potentially end up going to court. So the popular Dolphin emulator will not reach Steam when originally intended. So Nintendo continues its ongoing war against unlicensed software. This past Friday, the publisher slammed Valve with a DMCA takedown over its support over Dolphin, which is a popular Wii and GameCube emulator for the PC. For those who aren't aware, a DMCA takedown is a powerful legal action that allows companies to call for an immediate block of possible illegal uses of intellectual property. So this is what their note reads. So because the Dolphin emulator violates Nintendo's intellectual property rights, including but not limited to its rights under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is the DMCA, anti-circumvention and anti-trafficking provisions, we provide this notice of your obligation to remove the offering of the Dolphin emulator from the Steam store. So back in March, the group behind the Dolphin emulator launched a Steam page stating that the intent was to release it in a short, unspecified window. The action resulted in the immediate block and indefinite postponement of the Dolphin emulator's release. And this was Dolphin's response to that whole thing. It's with much disappointment that we have to announce that the Dolphin on the Steam release has been indefinitely postponed. We were notified by Valve that Nintendo has issued a cease and desist citing the DMCA against Dolphin's Steam page. We have removed Dolphin from Steam until the matter is settled. We're currently investigating our options and will have a more in-depth response in the near future. We appreciate your patience in the meantime. So the Dolphin devs now have a 2-week period to decide whether to abide by Nintendo's decision or file a counterclaim. If they decide to go against Nintendo, the Japanese company will have a chance to sue. And Nintendo loves suing people, so it's unclear whether Nintendo intends to do more against the spread of this emulator. The company still hasn't made any moves against the Dolphin's GitHub or its official page, which to me is the weird part with this whole thing. They haven't gone after the actual page of Dolphin, they just don't want it on Steam. Now, this is an interesting case because if this does end up going to court, whether it's a win or a loss, it's going to set a precedent because if they win against emulators, well, then that's open season to crack down on all emulators. That's going to set the precedent. But if they lose, well, then precedents are going to be set that emulators are kind of a bit more safe to use these days. So this is going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. I actually kind of hope that Dolphin wins this whole thing, so that way emulators are safe, but that's just my personal opinion. You tell me how you feel about this in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe to Geeks and Gamers Play and check out geeksandgamers.com, and I'll see you all in the next video.